Hello, race fans. Welcome to another episode of Short Track Guys Podcast, brought to you by ShortTrackExclusives.com. I'm your host, Thomas Faddis, alongside two other short track guys in the studio. As always, Jim Pokrant, driver of the 07 Can'tQuitFishing.com sportsman, and 2021 sportsman champion, by the way, and Ted Baber. Ted Baber Video Productions in the short tracks of Southeast in Pensacola at Five Flag Speedway, especially here in Pensacola, Florida. What's up, guys?
Good evening. Good evening.
How you doing?
Man, we're coming off with a great episode last week. If you haven't checked it out, check it out with Christian Rose Racing. What can I say about it? We're moving forward, and we've got
upward and onward.
Yeah, we've got a schedule coming up on the 12th here locally at Five Flag Speedway with the Outlaws, Pro Truck Sportsman, and Pure Stocks. And the Demolition Derby. I'm going to talk to Jim a little bit here about what he's got going on behind the scenes to get ready for that event. Just to throw in the ARCA Midwest Tour at Wisconsin. We got some shout-outs with Grant Enfinger winning at IRP Friday night. We've got a surprise winner at North Wilkesboro we're going to get into here in just a little bit. That's going to be an exciting story. And a veteran that wins in a modified at North Wilkesboro. We have a couple of upcoming races this weekend with the Pro Late Models in Montgomery and Race Day at Mobile International Speedway. We want to keep them in the love. And we've got some Port City race car shout-outs we're going to give because we are Bubba Pollard fans. And I think I'd be safe to say Bubba Pollard's one of the leaders in that Port City stable as far as running that whole group, and everybody's following suit. So we're going to give the Port City shout-outs again. But let's start out really with local here, getting ready for the 12th at Five Flag Speedway with Jim's Sportsman car.
Well, just working on the front end, trying to make things turn better. We've been having some issues and hopefully got them cured. And got my hood wrapped by Saturday Night Signs. Special thanks to Josh Howell for doing such a great job for my new sponsor, Escarosa Tree Service. Robert Smith came on board with us, and that's awesome. The hood looks great.
It's purdy.
It's purdy, that's for sure. I love it. It looks awesome. But we're getting that car ready, and then Mike Gorham's going to drive Ben Cranford's 343 again. We got some work to do on it next week to change some of the chassis because Mike wants to tighten it up some. He don't like it being loose, so we're going to fiddle with that some. And shout out to Five Flag Speedway as being track champion. I get to go to the Pepsi 400 in Daytona on the 27th of August. Free tickets. I'm going to have to drive down there, but how awesome is that? You get free tickets to get to go to the race, and all the track champions this year are getting tickets if they all want to go, and I'm planning on going because I've never been to Daytona, so that's something new for me. I think that'd be freaking cool to go down there and watch the 400. Good racing. I'm going to be cheering for Ross Chastain because I'm a new Ross Chastain fan. I really think I love the way he races. He gets the job done. A little penalty this past week, but, it is what it is. But, you need to come out on the 12th because that Demolition Derby is something special. We're going to put on a good show racing because the sportsman class has been 5 cars nose to tail and swapping parts and passing and stuff like that. So we ought to be pretty good. But you'll really enjoy the Demolition Derby. So bring your family member, bring your friends, get you a hot dog and a hamburger and come out and watch us race and watch the Demo Derby because it's fun to watch guys run into each other.
It's a fan favorite every year. They do love to watch things get torn up.
Yeah.
It usually packs the grandstands, so hopefully it will this year.
Yeah, well, it's no wonder they run it at the end of the night, too.
Right.
Well, it'd be kind of hard for us to dodge all the carnage on the front straightaway when we drop the green flag, when there's cars everywhere and there's parts and pieces. Yeah, we'd have problems.
And the track's wet, too. They do water.
Oh, yeah, it would take a while. We'd have to dry the front straightaway. Yeah, it'd be kind of rough, but it's usually a great show. It's worth the price of admission. I promise you that.
Yeah, and the racing included. It's going to be a great night, and that's the 12th of August. That's coming up next Friday night. The local racing, Outlaws, Pro Truck Sportsman, Pure Stock, and the Demolition Derby. You don't want to miss that. Get your tickets. Get out there. Like Jim says, get out of the house. Go to the racetrack. Support your local track. We're going to try to do just that. And I think Ted's got some news on a big ARCA Midwest Tour race happened this past weekend.
Yeah, it was the ARCA Midwest Tour's Gandrid Auto Group 250 at Wisconsin International Raceway. And we've been debating how to say this. I hope I got it right. Calcana, Wisconsin. And even though it was somebody who's won there frequently before, it wasn't a particularly easy win for him because he apparently had some mechanical difficulties. We're talking about, of course, who else? Ty Majeski. No particular surprise there. He's been dominating at that track for quite a while. And according to reports, he had a leak in his power steering line, and things would just go south during the long runs, but in the very end of it, he came on and won it, as he's done 5 times. He's 5-time champion in that particular series. So congratulations to him. And it wasn't easy for a bunch of other reasons too, because if you look at the finishing order and the people who came in behind him, it's a pretty stellar group of people he had to outlast. Of course, Ty Majeski wins the race, and then from there on, we have Casey Johnson second, Gabe Summers, Luke Fenhouse, 5th place. Stephen Assey finished 6th, just outside of the top 5. Jeremy Lepac, Jonathan Island, I believe that is. Justin Mondyke, we've talked about him on regular occasions. Connor Mossack in 10th, and then Matt Kenseth, who's also a regular campaigner up in that area. He came in 11th. Grant Griesbach is 12th. And then Bobby Kendall, Blake Brown, Dean Cornelius in 15th. Barrett Polomus in 16th. Tristan Swanson, Harley Jankowski, R.J. Brown, and Andrew Morrissey rounded out the top 20. And it gets even stranger after that, because 21st was Eric Jones. Johnny Sauter was 22nd, for crying out loud. And these are marquee names I'm discussing here. And further on down the list, Derek Kraus finished at 28th, and Carson Hocevar, who we've talked about quite a bit, was in 30th. So there are some really good drivers that just had a bad night.
Well, those two you mentioned are pretty famous for wrecking, or wrecking somebody. So who knows, they may have wrecked each other. I mean, I'm just saying, I've seen Carson Hocevar drive like he's in a China, was it a bull in a China shop?
Yep.
And I've seen Derek Kraus do the same thing. They joke that they're going to call the last chance qualifier to Snowball Derby the Derek Kraus Memorial, because he's in it every year. That's what his spotter says anyway. So that's pretty funny. But man, that's a big name, a bunch of big name drivers that didn't do very well. But
right.
At that racetrack, Ty Majeski's the man. It just you ain't going to beat him there unless he beats himself. And even though he had problems, and he still won the dang thing.
Yeah. He's a 5-time ARCA Midwest Tour champion,
Yep.
and this is his 3rd 250 win at Wisconsin International. So, and he had all kinds of problems, one after another, and he still figured out a way to get up front and get it by all these guys. And I mean, my hat's off to him. And there was 30 something cars, I think, in that
31.
race. 31 cars. Right. And, and 10 of those, half of those could have won.
Right.
And he comes away with the win. It's no surprise, no shock. Ty Majeski's been on a rail, since we really started. And, even before that, he was raising some eyebrows. Now he's running the truck series, which is a little bit of a subject we're going to bring up here in a little bit later. After our shout outs, we're going to kind of compare, some of the things with, what we're seeing on the local level, into the regional level, and then on the national level, and kind of compare that to, and kind of open a discussion and a dialogue.
Well, he's won the Derby once, and he's owned the not the Alabama 200, but the Rattler on several occasions. So
yeah, he's dominated that. But I mean, he should be 2-time Derby champion if there wasn't someone saying to back up the restart and cause the pile up because of it. I won't name names. But I'm just saying, it was a bad deal, and it caused a lot of headache, and there's a lot of talk about that Derby that Ty Majeski should have won it. He dominated it. I mean, all because of one restart. But I mean, that's part of it. You could lose or you win or lose. It doesn't matter if you miss a shift. I've missed a shift, hit the clutch when I should have hit the brakes when I should have hit the clutch. I mean, we've all done stupid stuff.
Well, Ty Majeski comes away with another 250 win up at Wisconsin in the ARCA Midwest Tour. We've got some news coming up that's happened last night and tonight. We're not going to get to tonight's results because we won't be published until tomorrow, but we can recap what happened last night at North Wilkesboro in the Revival.
Yeah.
With the modifieds. And we've talked about the tour type modifieds, the wheel modifieds, the ground pounders. Man, what a field. I think they had 33 modifieds on that racetrack last night. And the Rocket Man comes away with the win over Ryan Preece and Matt Hirschman and all these ground pounding guys.
Yeah.
Rocket Man, Ryan Newman gets it done.
The Myers brothers were there. I mean, there was no slackers in that field. That's pretty awesome. And that historic old racetrack, that is so cool that it's back open.
Yep.
And I would love, if I had the funding, to take my car up there and try to make the CRA race. Just to make laps around that place would be
That'd be awesome.
Super cool. But the funding is not there for me to tow that far.
Right. And they're going to run, I think, the rest of August. I think they're taking a break. September, they're going to tear the racetrack up, put dirt down. They're going to come back in October, and they're going to run on the dirt track at North Wilkesboro. We don't know the plans beyond that. But as far as last night went, they had a packed house. They had some modifications with the grandstands because they had to keep everything safe and stable. Because it is an older facility, it hasn't been active for a long time. They did come back and made what they could out of it, and it was a great show.
And the price is right. It's only $15 a head to go in there. So can you imagine the $15 and it's sold out? I mean, that's just, and every race there this next month is going to sell out. I guarantee you it will. Yes. Even though it's middle of the week, some of those races are going to sell out. And what they're going to do, interesting, Thomas, is they're not going to add any dirt. They're just going to pull the asphalt off of it and take the dirt that's underneath there and make it a dirt track. They said they're not going to add any dirt to it. That it's going to be the dirt underneath the racetrack is going to be what they're going to race on. And then they're going to, after the dirt races are over, they're going to repave it and make it a new surface at North Wilkesboro. So
that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I didn't know that. I appreciate that. That's cool.
It is. That's pretty neat. I love the fact that old place is opening back up. But, just to make some, I mean, can you imagine the ghosts that are around that place? Oh, yeah. I mean, guys like Junior Johnson, Darrell Waltrip, Neil Bonnet. It was where the feud between Ricky Rudd and Earnhardt started. They got into one another and spun each other out. Brett Bodine ended up winning the race. It's just, I mean, the history, and it's downhill down the front stretch and uphill the back stretch.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard in one of the interviews in the pits. That the configuration is one thing, the surface is another, but then the dips going down, almost like Dover is with the ups and downs on either end of the racetrack, and that makes it unique. And I think that's what these guys are looking for. They're looking for character in racetracks and not look really cookie cutter, easy go looking riding a Cadillac kind of thing. They want to race. They've got to manhandle these cars.
Well, there's a funny story about North Wilkesboro when Kyle Petty was running his first couple of races there. Earnhardt was in the number 15 for Bud Moore Racing, the Wrangler Thunderbird, and Kyle Petty said he beat on me, and finally he got around me, and I hooked him, sent him into a light pole, and he said, when the race was over, here comes Earnhardt. I thought, oh boy, I'm in trouble. He said he put his arm around and grabbed me. He said, you had enough of my crap today, didn't you? Kyle said, yes, sir. He said, that's how you got to handle it. You can't take it.
If those walls could talk.
Oh, man, the garage area. Can you imagine if the walls could talk in the garage? Some of the stuff that they did back in the day. It was one of those racetracks where they would drop the lead pellets out at, like pull the trap door and drop the lead. I mean, just how cool is that place? And it's so awesome that they're opening it back up and they're going to continue to open it. It's awesome. That's all I can say. It's awesome.
Yeah. That's back when racing was real. I mean, I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan Newman gets the job done over Spencer Davis, Matt Hirschman, Ryan Preece, and Burt Myers. A couple of notables, Jimmy Blewett, Jason Myers, Joey Coulter. Bobby Labonte comes in 17th, and Jeremy Gersner was 27th. I know that's kind of a disappointing finish. I know we've talked about Jeremy Gersner running up in the top 10, top 5, even winning before in those modified. So what a great show at North Wilkesboro. They're going to go tonight, and we'll kind of recap that along with tonight's results next Wednesday. We do want to give a big, huge shout-out Grant Enfinger.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Taking the win in the Truck Series. A guest here in episode 43 with us. We had the pleasure to work out a deal to get him on and talk to him before his episode at Martinsville. The love-hate relationship at the paperclip. Yep. And I'm telling you, if you haven't watched that race and watched the replay of the last 20 or 30 laps, Grant been running up front all the night. And I knew Carson Hocevar's name was going to come back up because that's who he was battling with about 25 to go. And they had a great side-by-side battle. Grant was trying to work on the bottom. Carson was up on the top side and just kind of center off. Just got a truck ahead of him, and Grant couldn't seem to pull it off. And then all of a sudden, the yellow flag comes out. Everybody's got to make that decision to come in and get tires and get back out. Well, the guy that we just got through talking about in Wisconsin, Ty Majeski, gets out front because he stayed out.
Right.
But Grant Enfinger had a great pit stop and came back out, and I think he had to work his way back inside the top 10 up to the front and battle Ty Majeski and ended up getting the win. So a huge shout-out for that Champion Power Equipment Chevrolet. in the Camping World Truck Series with Grant Enfinger. I hope we can make arrangements to get him in the near future, get him back on and talk about that because it was so exciting to watch.
Well, you know what's cool is they're coming on strong. You know, they were the last truck to make the championship chase, and he's coming on at the right time. Yep. Now he moves on to the next round. So he's got a shot at the championship. And how cool would it be to us have had the truck champion
very
on our podcast? So,
yes.
I mean, you know, we're just keep on going with you, man, and wish you all the luck in the world and go get him for basically our only real local driver we have and that's racing in the Big 3 series right now. So good luck to you, man.
Yeah, he's been knocking on the door the whole season, and I'm probably glad to see him come away with that win. Now, you know, it's kind of like over. Now we can focus on, you know, winning that championship, and he's got nothing to lose now. He can just go take it.
That's it. Go for it.
Well, after Grant Enfinger's shout out, we've got another one that happened at North Wilkesboro. We're going to back up a little bit, and this is kind of a historical move from last night in the crate modified feature. An 11-year-old Paulie Hartwig III takes the win in a big field of crate modifieds at North Wilkesboro at 11 years old, being the youngest to ever win a race at North Wilkesboro. And how cool is that?
Is very cool.
It is. It's pretty cool. I like it. I mean, I don't agree with kids that young racing those kind of cars. That's just my personal opinion. But congratulations to him. He got the job done. He beat all the old guys, even past his old dad. So good job to him.
That might have to be a little embarrassing, but you know, I mean.
No, not really. I mean, you consider the money they probably got in that car because it wasn't no slacker.
Nope.
No, running a full stable like that, but it's all local stuff. I mean, his dad was on the interview and really didn't have any words to express any emotion about his son passing him. I think he was a little bit reserved on that, but also, you know, at the same time, he's happy that. I think there's something special about him because he mentioned some of his success when he was 10 years old and opened eyes, kind of like the Christian Rose story, you know, about getting into Daytona and walking into a crowd that opened the door for him. And now you see where Christian is with the Arca Menard series. Right. Now you got this 10-year-old that opened eyes up and got into a modified like this and takes a win at North Wilkesboro at 11 years old. That's something special. And I can understand his dad's like, I don't know. This, my son is something special, you know, but it's all local stuff. You know, they don't have big money behind it. They don't have big sponsors. It's just a great shout out, and it being the revival at North Wilkesboro. What else can you say? You know, they've got the rest of tonight, and then we're going to be talking about the recap next week. And then when we get to dirt, I can't wait to be talking about that.
Be fun.
So we've got some more shout-outs. You know, we're a big Bubba Pollard fan. You know, with the Port City race car system, Brenton Parrott at Speedway 95, Matt Carter at Langley, Amberlynn at Bowman Gray Stadium of all places. What a way to congratulations, Amberlynn, on your Port City win at Bowman Gray. Nick Ross at Mahoning Valley Speedway, which is in Layton, Pennsylvania. Just some of our Port City friends out there, give them a shout out for winning and taking some features from some of the other notables.
Congratulations to all of those guys and gals.
And gals, yeah.
I mean, she was involved in a situation a couple of weeks ago where she just like tore the crud out of that car, beating on somebody after getting into a situation. Of course, it's the madhouse.
Well, what do you expect?
Yeah, and they do. I mean, you know, the bad part about that, and this is just my opinion, you're teaching these young kids that's how you race. Mm-hmm. And these young kids are seeing it in Cup, they're seeing it in trucks, they're seeing it in Xfinity, and it's teaching them bad habits. And we just knock them out of the way. That's how you win. No, guys had respect. There's no respect anymore. That's just, I mean, that's what I'm seeing, especially at Bowman Gray. I mean, they packed that place because of that. But I'd rather go watch a race than a demolition derby. If I want to see a demolition derby, I want to see a real demolition derby. I don't want to see guys tearing up $50,000, $60,000 race cars.
All right, that brings up a discussion we can get into, and I know we don't bring this up a lot. We don't talk about it. We are short track guys. We try to stay with the dirts, the midgets, the wing sprints, and the modifieds, our local stuff. But when we talk about the bigger level, what we've seen in the Cup Series, not so much Xfinity and trucks, but I mean really the big tier on Sunday, we have seen more winners that have not normally been up front ever in Cup And what is it now? Up to 14 or 15 different, not really first-time winners, but winners that you don't see the big five, the Hamlins, the Harvicks, the Bushes, and all that dominating.
No, RCR's winning this year. I mean, that's 2 road courses in a row for Tyler Reddick, who's another guy that came from the short tracks to where he is. Ross Chastain, a 2-time winner this year. I mean, look at these guys, man. It's incredible. And you realize that we've still got enough races left that they could actually have 16 winners. And some of these people with 1 wins may be out.
That's right. You get eliminated. You win and still not be in it.
Right, and that's pretty much what I'm throwing out there is the Reddicks, the Briscoes, the Chastains. They're not the Hamlins, the Harvicks, the Bushes, and the Larsons that we're normally seeing. Right. We've gone through it with our local track, with the guys winning every single time they go out. It's the top 3. It's the top 3. It gets so ridiculous. Nobody seems to have a chance except this car, and this car. You know they're going to be top 3. Well, this year, in the top tier series is totally different than I'm just speaking for myself, that I'm used to seeing.
Right. I mean, it's the equity is there. And we brought up the subject is the car or the driver. I mean, at this point, who knows what is going on there.
Right.
The car is a lot different.
Well, this year, the car is probably not as important as the driver because the cars are different. It's not like you got, last year's car, the team could tweak it and twist it and turn it and everything. This one, no. We saw that with Joe Gibbs Racing losing 2 top-tier spots because of 2 pieces of tape on the nose of both cars. NASCAR said, do not touch this car. That means do not touch this car. Do not change anything, period. So it's in more of the driver's hands because you got guys running up front. Corey LaJoie almost won Atlanta. I mean, not saying Corey can't win in a good car, but it's just different things. And I think this new car has I didn't like it at first. I still don't like the one lug nut thing, but that's my opinion. But the fact that the new car has equaled things out.
Right.
It's made it where, okay, we're all in the same boat.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't have the time to have played with the car and see what you can do to make it better. Well, you don't
have any test time. Plus, it's all computers now. Everybody puts it on their pull-down rig and changes this and messes with that. But even that's still not on-track time making things work.
No.
So I think it's the car, and I think it's a good idea. And I like the fact that you have 14 different winners, and I'm glad to see Tyler Reddick winning a race. And he's going to 23-11 next year after next. And RCR announced that he would be in that 8 car next year, that they weren't going to try to get rid of him early, which would be dumb.
Right.
It's dumb on Richard Childress' part for letting him go. He went to Richard Childress and said, look, I want a contract. Richard Childress said, well, you ain't won a race yet. I'm not doing anything. Well, then he wins a race. And then he said, well, give us some time. And here comes Denny Hamlin. I'm not a Denny Hamlin fan, but he signed him up. You snooze, you lose. You know what I mean?
Right. Strike while the iron's hot.
And I'm sure that 2311's paying good money. So that little Tyler's going to be in pretty good company, and he's a winner, and he's a good race car driver. And I just, Ross Chastain, like I said, he's a winner. I just love to see the smaller teams run up front.
Well, I guarantee you, Michael Jordan's got $20 in his wallet.
You think?
More likely.
You might have a C note. You know what I'm saying?
Just $20 in somebody else's wallet.
A couple of Benjis.
just a little bit. But I mean, the GOAT, the greatest basketball player of all time. I don't care what anybody says about LeBron. That's just my opinion. We'll let that go. But I mean, the racing's getting a lot better. The only thing I wish NASCAR do is eliminate some of the road courses. It's a little much.
Yeah.
I think we got too many. And go back to running on the dadgum oval at Indy. It races maybe a little bit boring, but I think with this new car, the racing would be better. And it's not as prestigious when you win the Brickyard, you get to kiss the yard of bricks. They're still doing it, but it's still not the same.
No, it's not the same.
No, it's not. It's not as prestigious of a win, in my opinion. But like I said, we're short track guys. Cup racing's good. The truck series at IRP, congratulations to the finger, Grand End finger, because, dude, I'm going to tell you something. He put it on him. And that was, he drove down on the flat and went right by him. And to me, that's awesome. A local guy winning a truck race. I mean, Cale Gale won one from Mobile.
Yep.
And that's just great. Congratulations.
On the fence to do it. Don't cry.
Yeah, our hometown boys, Grant Enfinger, Paulie Hartwig III, that 11-year-old wins at North Wilkesboro. Ryan Newman, congratulations on the Tour Type Modified at North Wilkesboro. We got a couple of big races coming up this weekend. The Show Me the Money Pro Late Model Series at Montgomery Saturday night. We had race day at Mobile International. Don't want to forget Mobile International with Houston Motorsports Park with Gina Knowles, with Pro Trucks, Outlaws, Pro Late Model Sportsman, Pure Stocks, and Eco Stocks coming up this weekend. And just wanted to throw that out there before we kind of turn it off and get ready and gather some things for next Wednesday.
I just want to make one personal note here. On a personal note, somebody we all know, Matt Dillner, Matty D, as I like to call him, he is making a move from Dirty Mo Racing to Flow Racing. And Flow Racing is getting an excellent guy to work with. I've worked with him before. I remember the very first time that they shot any video, it was freezing on top of the tower. They didn't even have any duct tape when they came here.
Oh, wow.
The very first time I helped them out with that. And we actually used a blow dryer there on top of the tower just to keep our hands warm. It was so cold. But I congratulate him on his move, and I wish him the best of luck in his future. Matt, if you listen to this, we all love you, dude. Have a good time.
Yeah, for sure. Matt, he's worked really close with Dale Jr. Through the years with his episodes in Lost Speedways.
Yes.
Which is a great episode there you can find on
Peacock.
You can find on Peacock. That's online. It's streaming. He goes and finds these old racetracks and brings back some of the stories and has guests. And what a great, man, why didn't we think of that? But yeah, with Matthew Diller, congratulations. And I know Flow Racing is going to treat you right and you're going to do them justice. And we can't wait to, talk about more of this with your success to them. But guys, I mean, this is a weekly thing for us, short track racing, and we talk about all the updates that we can get in. We got some big races coming up, and we can't wait for next Wednesday's episode. And it's just it's a pleasure to get with you guys and sit down and talk short track racing and have our listeners kind of hang in and build the campfire coming up soon. When the weather cools off a little bit. Yep. But we got football around the corner. I'm sure we'll throw some of that in there. But right now, it's all short track racing from the Short Track Guys podcast on Facebook. Give us a shout. Leave us a message, get with us, and tell us what you think. So, guys, I don't know.
I can only think of one thing.
Well,
I can
one other thing.
One
other thing. Give us a 5-star rating. You can do it on Spotify now. You can do it on your iPhone. Leave us a review, please. It helps us move up the charts. Right. It helps us get better so we can better make things work better for you guys. Because we do this for you guys because we want you to listen. We want you to understand that we love racing just as much as you do. And ain't nobody loves racing more than me. I can promise you. I'm the number one fan, number one driver. I love everything about it. But please give us a good review. Help us out.
Yeah. I do want to throw things out there that Jim and I had been advocates about. I got included with him that I support our troops.
Yes,
I do want to throw that. My hat's off. We tip our hat to all the men and women that are servicing our country and keeping us safe. Support our troops and
back the blues.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. And our EMTs. But God bless them too because they do a crappy job. Yep.
Exactly. So I guess we got to do a 1, 2, 3 thing.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Let's go,
Brandon.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening.